Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Siman Beis, and we are up to Sif Gimel. It's actually interesting now because now Mir Hashem we're really beginning of Siman Aleph was a lot more of what I guess we would call like hashkafa. Now we really begin to delve into a lot more of the halacha. So the Kitzur writes again in Sif Gimel, Natilas Yadayim Shachris Hu B'derech Zeh. So how does one go ahead and perform the mitzvah of Natilas Yadayim in the morning? So the Gemara says, listen to this. I'm sorry. Kitzur says, "No telas hakli biyad yamino." So what do? You pick up the kli in your right hand. So listen to the process. I mean, we know this, but interesting. Pick up the kli in your right hand, because remember, ideally, it's actually an interesting aside. Ideally, you are supposed to wash natilas yadayim in the morning from a kli, from a utensil. We're going to see that technically, if you don't have a utensil, you could still wash natilas yadayim. This is going to be in contradistinction to washing for bread. Where washing for bread, you must have a kli. I say must, unless you don't, then there's another way to do it. But ideally, you want to have a kli. You want to have a kli. But for natilas yadayim in the morning, technically, you could do it even without a kli. But ideally, you're going to take the kli. So step one, pick up the washing cup with your right hand. The nos nolis smolo. Step two, transfer from right hand to the left hand. And then wash your left hand first. Wash your right hand first. So one more time. Pick up the utensil with your right hand. Transfer it over to your left hand. And now you begin the process of washing. And what do you begin to wash first? Makes sense. You begin to wash the right hand first. Then you switch over the kli, right, to your right hand. And you switch it to your left hand. And this is what you should do 3 times. So this is also very important. Natilas yadayim in the morning, remember, is not consecutive on each hand, right? It's not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? But rather, again, it's switching back and forth between right and left. So one more time. I pick up the utensil with my right hand, hand it over to my left hand. First pouring goes on the right hand, then switch the kli back to the right hand. First pouring, then on the left hand, and back and forth 3 times on each hand. Now it happens to be, as an aside, the Mishnah Berurah says, ideally, one should really wash 4 times on each hand. It's interesting. The Kitzur doesn't bring that down. The Kitzur just says 3 times. The Mishnah Berurah quotes other sources that say 4 times. Again, one does 3, one does 4. Obviously, one could do 4. It's an extra little bit of water. It's kedai. In any event, so the Kitzur goes on. He says, "V'tov litleim ad parak hazroa." Ideally, one should wash nigelvasser up until the wrist. Ach b'shas adchak adai kishrei etzba osav. But again, if you can't do the wrist, again, let's say there's an extenuating circumstance. I don't know, you don't have enough water, you're in a big rush. Knuckles, up until the knuckles is fine. So we'll say, so that's step 1. So now we've seen, I will say, isn't it beautiful? We're familiar with this halacha, but part of the beauty is that Yiddishkeit teaches us, often say, people say the devil's in the details. It's not the devil in the details. The Ribono Shel Olam is in the details. That literally, again, a person who gets, you ever wondered to yourself, like, really, God, you're running the universe? This is what we're worried about over here? Where you're going to tell me how to pick up, where I should pick up the kli with my right hand, hand it to my left hand. Just wash your hands 3 times. Let's be done with it. Let's move on. Why such level of specificity? Why such detail? So I'll say, besides the fact that there's a deeper meaning to all of these things on a basic level, it's teaching us to live life in a way where everything I do is choreographed and has thought. There should be no such thing as like random actions, stuff that just happens. Sometimes you see this I just blurted something out. It should never be that a person lives a life where they just blurt, unless someone has a condition. But in general, a person shouldn't just blurt something out. And a person, when acting, shouldn't just act randomly or haphazardly. Everything should be methodical. Everything should be with forethought. Everything should be choreographed to the best of one's ability. How do you condition a person to think that way? So Halacha does it for us in a behavioral sense. I'm going to think about it. There's a way to pick up a cup. You pick it up with your right. You hand it to your left. You wash the right. Go back to the left. Wash it. And I'm going back and forth like this. Everything is choreographed. Everything is methodical. And imagine if we lived this way, right? That I thought before I did everything. I thought before I said everything. And that my life was methodical, choreographed, and well thought out. Besides the fact that we would save ourselves from so much heartbreak and bad decisions, we'd also be a lot more productive. And so Chazal are trying to get us into this mindset already first thing in the morning. Kitzur goes on, he says, person should wash their face in the morning as well. Beautiful halacha, wash your face in the morning. Why do you wash your face? Out of kavod to Hashem. Out of kavod to Hashem. Now here's what's interesting. You see, what does it mean you wash your face out of kavod to Hashem? So often what we assume this means is, I'm about to go daven, I'm about to go learn, I should prepare myself. Look what the Kitzur writes. He quotes the pasuk, Ki b'tselem Elokim asas hadam. Man is made in the image of God. So what does this mean on a deeper level? This is so beautiful. What does it mean on a deeper level? It means that literally my visage, like my face, is, so to speak, b'tselem Elokim, obviously not literally. So because I'm in the image of God, the best thing I could do is take care of that image. How do you take care of that image? Wash your face. Wash your face. I am preserving and I'm caring for the very image of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One should make sure to wash out their mouth in the morning prior to davening. Ririn literally means, I don't know, for lack of a better term, is like the schmutz you wake up with in your mouth. I don't know what the technical term for that is. I don't know, no dentist on this Zoom over here. All right, whatever it is, the schmutz that's in your mouth from sleeping. So good, in other words, a person's going to daven, a person's going to learn, so a person shouldn't go ahead and enter into davening. That person should clean out their mouth. And again, why? Because I'm going to be saying the name of Hashem. I'm going to be saying the name of Hashem in Birchos HaShachar, and again, the Brachos Birchos HaTorah, I'm going to be davening. So because I'm going to be uttering the name of Hashem, therefore my mouth should be properly prepared. And ultimately, again, one should then dry their hands. And one should go ahead and dry their face very well. And this has to do with the Gemara that discusses that certain forms of sickness could be associated with not properly drying off one's face. So I will say that is Halacha Gimel. And again, a dramatic Musar Haskell. Just everything has a place. Everything has a structure. Everything has a rhythm. And if we start our day like this and keep to this model of Mirach Hashem going through our day, there's no telling what we could accomplish. Chevra, Shkoyach Gadol, it was so wonderful to start the week with all of you, and have a great day.
You ready?
Pleasure.